Yes. All right. Next up, we got Air Force One here. And Air Force One says, will Coach Tomlin step into the front office as general manager when he is done coaching? He also says, please say yes, coach, with an exclamation point.
Wait, who'd you say? Who's the name?
This is from Air Force One.
No, the name.
Coach Tomlin. Would Coach Tomlin step into a GM role when he's done coaching?
I don't know. You know him better than me. I think he's just going to keep coaching.
Forever?
I don't know how long, but you mentioned if it's not with the Steelers, maybe he'll go to another team and try to rebuild, put his own stamp on another franchise. Because what are the options? It's either GM, you go off into the distance, we don't hear from you, or you could take TV.
Or you could do coaching and GM, though, right? Who have we seen do that before? That Andy
Gruden's
Reid's
doing it now,
right?
Belichick.
Yeah.
There's a few of those players. I guess he would be a good candidate for that just because of his success. Does he want to be a GM, though?
So I think it's like this.
He's with someone, though. Like Colbert's a top 3 GM in the league.
This is my thing, though. Because people are anticipating Colbert retiring soon, right? If he were to retire and Coach T stays, I could see it play out
I'd
where
be good with that.
They could make him active GM and head coach. I think that would work because
you got the numbers guy with Colin.
Right. You already got the number guy. So you're good for that. That's always the big sticking point with those guys. When you got a guy like Khan on the staff, that takes that pressure off because with Coach Tomlin, he evaluates players at a high level. Like his ability to just know, okay, I think this guy can do that. That guy can do that. I think he has a really good grasp of that. Very similar to how Kevin Colbert is in terms of being able to find some talented players. And even at times, and this is that disconnect between coach and GM, some of the decisions of who goes out there to play aren't always up to him. So even though we might feel like a player is better, even though he might feel like a player is better and gives the team a better chance to win, sometimes just based on the business element of it, a decision is made from above his pay grade and you just got to kind of have to deal with it. So for me, I do trust that Coach Tomlin could be a GM and do a really good job at it. I think though for him, it would probably have to be here in Pittsburgh because if he were to leave Pittsburgh, I think he would still want to continue coaching. And if he's going to continue coaching, if the situation isn't going to allow him to do both, I think he would rather coach than just be GM.
Yeah, I would actually definitely be good with that option.
Yeah, if they did for him to do both though, I would love whenever Kevin Colbert does decide to hang it up, if Coach Tomlin is still here, I would definitely be down for him being coach and GM.
We just had for these past 20 years, probably, a top 2 or 3 GM in the NFL. Who are we going to replace him with? I'd rather just replace him with Tomlin for sure. It goes back to what you said. For his evaluation of players, I trust that. And then I like that element too, where he can kind of control the whole thing. And then you have that numbers guy with him too.
As long as because you got to have the numbers guy. You got to have that guy to be able to make this work, know which guys you can get and how that operates. And Khan, for a fact, he gives you that. We know he's bona fide. Sometimes maybe not the best.
Would he be doing the negotiations though?
No, that's the thing.
Okay.
So even in negotiations, Tomlin was a part of it. When I did my contract, I talked to Coach T, Kevin Colbert, and Khan. Those are the main guys. Khan for the numbers, Coach T for a role, and then Kevin Colbert was more so role big picture in terms of I said that backwards. Kevin Colbert was more so the role of where he saw me at. Coach T was more the specifics of how that was going to play out. So those are the 3 that you mainly talk to when you're doing a contract negotiation. You don't talk to Mr. Rooney until it's done. But Mr. Rooney he doesn't talk that business part of it. You'll talk to him, but he's not going to talk all right,
he trusts those guys.
He trusts those guys. Absolutely.
I'm definitely good with Tomlin taking over that role.
Because he could easily it wouldn't even be out of character for him. Even when I was coming from Buffalo down here, the first go around, he was still on the phone, somebody I was still talking to.
I remember
doing that process.
Yeah, I remember you telling me he called you up even after your first year with the Steelers, whenever you were in free agency. Because you were talking about Atlanta. He was like, Mose, what's going on, man? I know you played this
before, man. Come on, you from Party Town, P-Town, baby. Come on, baby. Pull up, do it for the crib. I was like, all right, 757, let's do it.
Yeah, I'd definitely be good with that. That's good with me. I just don't know, because the way he brought it up was Tomlin would just stop coaching and then become a GM. I don't know if I see that. I see him more as a coach, or like you said, he'd have to be GM and coach. I mean, he's more than qualified candidate for that. If you have some of these other coaches doing it, he's been a top, easily 4 or 5 coach in the league since he's been here.
Now, you know, I got a question, though. I'm starting to think about something here. I do think a lot of us do like the idea of Coach Tomlin transitioning or doing coach and GM right when Kevin Colbert leaves. But we happen to have somebody in the chat that doesn't necessarily agree with Coach Tomlin being that fair guy. And I was thinking to myself,
Nation's like 50-50 on Tomlin.
Should we poll it up? That's what I was thinking, because I know sometimes with the first person that I saw bring it up, this particular person, we know they have strong takes, right? Sometimes they like a certain quarterback and sometimes they hate a certain offensive lineman, all right? But we know the one person that they do always like on the show sits to the right of me. So she could be biased. But I think the rest of the people, I think they could give us a good, good depiction of whether or not they think Coach Thomas should be the GM afterwards.
Yeah, pull it up.
Can't happen, can't hurt. So what we'll do is I'm going to get this poll going. You get to talking, please.
Sure.
And we'll roll it like that. Should Coach T?
My thoughts with Tomlin, because like I said, top 4 or 5 coach in the league right now. With the Steelers, like if Colbert leaves, like are we bringing in some young GM? Yeah. I'd rather just give it to Tomlin. He's been around for so long, and if you say he's got a knack for talent like that, and think he can do the job, who would be better than him?
So should Coach T become GM for the Steelers after Kevin Colbert? I'll just say after Colbert retires.
Well, especially if you think doing that wouldn't take him putting up too much on his plate.
Yeah, I don't think it would at all. Honestly, because
then I think it'd be seamless. It'd be
like I said, because he's already doing a lot of the similar work. The biggest difference is just Kevin Colbert exclusively is doing that, whereas with Coach Tomlin, he does that along with just the overseeing of the football operations. But you think about multiple guys have worn multiple hats for this team. I mean, even the defensive coordinator right now, right? Keith Butler's DC and he's outside linebackers coach. A lot of people, like, you can have those roles because some of them just are intertwined anyways. And for Coach Tomlin as the head coach, he has to know his players. He has to know what they do well and what they don't do well. That's just in line with what your GM is doing. But the big part with the GM is those guys typically have that money locked in. They know all the big picture. And when you have a guy like Omar Khan on the staff already, that alleviates Coach Tomlin for that. So that's how I can work seamlessly in my fight to me.
Yeah. I'd like to see Colbert stick around a little bit, though. He's on fire. He's like wheeling and dealing.
I think he will. But the thing is, though, based on how remember, because him and Coach T, but it was more so Kevin Colbert. Remember, it was like 3-4 years ago. He said he's switching to just 1-year deals because he was like, he doesn't know how much longer he wants to do it. Now, like I said, that was 3 years ago.
He's on for 2022, correct?
Yeah, up until the draft, I want to say.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's up until the draft. So once again, we don't know, like, are you going to sign an extension after that? Or is that going to be it? As long as he keep doing the 1 years, that's why everybody's like, well, when we not kicking him out, but we think it's going to be sooner rather than later. Now, speculation is that it will be whenever Ben leaves. And we had talked about that where it could be Ben, Tomlin, and Colbert. I think it would be Ben and Colbert together and Coach T stays. Just because I don't think Coach T is interested in retiring or stopping coaching right now. Whereas with Colbert, he's already, like I said, starting to give those indications. He's older. He's been doing this, like, honestly, he's been the GM almost longer than I've been alive. Like, it's crazy, dude. Yeah.
He's got to be like 65 or something.
Yeah.
It's around that time. But I think he's seeing the team. There's some potential here. He could put a couple more rings on his fingers. Mm-hmm. So he's going to stick around a little bit, make some of these nice deals.
Fair enough.
How's the poll looking?
All right, so the poll is about 2 minutes in, but we're looking at about 74-75% saying yes, they will want Coach Tomlin to become the GM afterwards. We'll give him some time. Yes. It's still early, baby. You know, we won't check. We can't be going at 2 minutes. Nah, man. Think I got to get a little time to cook it up a little bit.